Yeah. See that color right there? There's a whole bunch of them. Those are coast redwoods. Be very cautious. These things are giants. Come on. Ta-da! All right. Some things about these buggers. They have been seen on Earth for about 240 million years, but only been in California for about 20 million years. Average lifespan would be about 500 to 700 years old, but there has been records of some redwoods getting to about 2,000 years old and up to 350 feet in height, but they have to be in perfect conditions to get to those. Ugh. Logging for coastal redwoods began in the 1800s, but in the 1970s it started to end due to modern environmental laws and the creation of public parks. Oh, look at these bugs. Many years ago, redwoods once thrived on the northern hemisphere. Today, redwoods are confined to a coastal strip of about 450 miles long, stretches from a southwest corner of Oregon all the way to southern Monterey County in California. There's even a Redwoods National Park located in California as well. Got my trusty notebook with all the notes, as you've been seeing. Starting off with the habitat for these coast redwoods right here. They want to be near, the Pacific Ocean. Got no ocean in sight, but it's a little far a ways. They're about 35 miles inland from the ocean. Elevations are ranging from sea level to about 3,000 feet in the air. Through northern parts of coastal redwood range, they can be found on all slopes. In southern portions of its range, it can only be found on western and northern slopes. Banana slugs, Pacific giant salamanders, red-bellied newts, along with raccoons, bobcats, Pacific fishers, pine martens, black-tailed deer, Roosevelt elk, marbled murrelets, and northern spotted owls all call redwood forests home. Just like me. As for wildlife, there are some nasty pests that come into these forests, but, they don't do that much damage to these redwoods. Ugh. Redwood trees are one of the most resistant to all softwood types, especially towards insects and rot. Since the redwood is so resistant to all insect attacks, not much damage comes from them. But there are a lot of insects that do reside on top or inside of the bark. Get a little closer for a close-up. This nice red bark right here. The insects that do reside in the bark consist of redwood bark beetles, flathead twig borers, and sequoia pitch moths. There are in fact diseases that do diminish redwoods and maybe even kill them. One of those diseases is called armillaria, which takes advantage of poor soil and drainage, which causes the branches of these redwoods to slowly die. Another disease that is crucial to redwood survivability is redwood canker, which kills the tips of the branches of these redwoods as well. Let's talk about management practices for these buggers. Now, I'd say the best management practice would be commercial thinning, widely known as pretty good silviculture practice. Commercial thinning achieves spacing for these trees, availability for good growth, and volume objectives while maintaining canopy cover. Generally, dominant trees are retained in the stand to increase stand volume through release, and the amount of wood volume harvested is dependent on the forester and the site. Another thing about commercial thinning, it does initiate gap phase successional processes, allowing for natural recruitment of future crop trees for stump sprouting. Redwood timber is retained through selective harvesting on previously cut over lands. It is valued for its looks, beauty, resistance to decay, carpentry, and general construction as well as for furniture, shingles, posts, and even paneling.
Oh, wow. Sorry, forgot about this. Too focused on the beauty out here. Really got to take it in. But let's get on to climate change. Main reason these massive giants thrive on the coastal regions of California and Oregon is due to the amount of rainfall that they get and the amount of fog intake that they get. That fog brings in a lot of moisture for these trees, and they would not be here without it. Fog is not just good for these redwood trees out here, it's also good for the plants and everything to maintain sustainability for these forests. Due to climate change, redwood trees on the coast of Oregon and California are experiencing lots of temperature increase. And that temperature increase does influence the amount of rainfall and even moisture that comes into these forests. With that being said, climate doesn't just affect temperature with the rainfall and fog intake for these forests. It also does have influence on wildfires, flooding, and shifting relationships between pests and pathogens. Now, I hope you learned from this presentation on why these redwood forests are so important and why we manage them. You know, I call this place home, and so does a lot of wildlife, and it's our part to do what's right. And one last thing, as you can see here, redwoods do come in all different shapes and sizes, ranging from small to even smaller. Oh wait, that's a stag. Don't look at that one. To somewhat big. They can even come in groups like these with several redwood trees very close to each other. But beautiful, man. Ow! They even split, as you can see here. Pretty cool looking. I got my seedling right here. It's about 6 months old, looking fresh. This is what they look like. Come on, I got one last giant to show you. Here we are. They can come as giants like this one. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked it. Thank you.